Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take those boring corporate filings and turn them into something you can actually understand. Today we're cracking open BellRing Brand's latest report. It's a quarterly checkup and spoiler alert, they're flexing some serious muscle but not without a little sweat. Think of it like this, they're trying to convince Wall Street that they know what's cooking in the nutrition market and aren't just another flash-in-the-pan protein shake company. Are they succeeding? Let's jump in and see. This company sells convenient nutrition products, mostly protein shakes and powders under the brands Premier Protein and Dymatize. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join the conversation. This table of contents helps keep this Form 10Q in order. This is BellRing Brand's report for the period ending in March 2025. Let's get to the details. First, let's check the financials. Net sales are the total revenue a company generates from selling its products or services, minus any returns, discounts, or allowances. Think of it as the real income the company is bringing in. BellRing's net sales increased to $588 million for the 3 months ended in March 2025, up from $494.26 million in 2024. That's an increase of about 19%. Next, we have operating profit. This shows how much profit a company makes from its core business operations, before taking into account interest, taxes, and other non-operating items. BellRing's operating profit and was $95.1 million in 2025, was $95.1 million in 2025. Interest expense is the cost a company incurs for borrowing money. It reflects the interest paid on loans, bonds, or other forms of debt. For BellRing, their net interest expense for the 3 months ended in March 2025 was $16.5 million. In 2024, a roughly 14% increase. That means they're paying a bit more to borrow money. This refers to the total amount of taxes a company expects to pay on its profits for a specific period. BellRing's income tax expense for the 3 months ended in March 2025 was $19.9 million, slightly up from $19.30, up from $19.3 million. Net earnings, also known as net income, is the bottom line. It's the amount of profit a company has left after deducting all costs, including operating expenses, interest, taxes, and other expenses. BellRing's net earnings for the 3 months ended in March 2025 was $58.7 million in 2024. Now taking a slightly longer view and looking at the 6-month numbers ending in March, the company's net sales increased $195.9 million or 21% compared to 2024. The operating profit also went up $46.4 million or 34%. Digging deeper, the report shows that Premier Protein products led the sales increase with a jump of $92.3 million or 22% for the quarter. That's largely because they're producing more shakes. Dymatize, their other big brand, also saw a sales increase, but not as big, only $1.9 million or 3%. However, they saw an increase in volume, but had an unfavorable product mix which lowered the price. Here's another quick dive into their cash flow. They're reporting a decrease in cash from operations as inventory is being built up and payments are being paid. The long-term debt section tells us that BellRing has senior notes coming due in 2030 and a revolving credit facility. Their total long-term debt is just under $960 million. They also borrowed $230 million and repaid $11.10 million under the revolving credit facility. Now, let's take a look at legal stuff. There's a few legal matters disclosed in the report. It has to do with a product line called Joint Juice. It's been going on for years now, and protein, powder, and lead levels. They don't believe that any of these will have a material adverse effect on the company. Finally, it shows the stock repurchases. The company spent almost $200 million to buy back shares, which they think is a good value. It is, after all, their own stock. The risk factors list what might go wrong. It's always wise to pay attention to this part. What would keep you up at night if you were running this company? They include supply chain issues, fierce competition, changing consumer tastes, legal and regulatory problems. These can and will affect the business. Oxy now, what's my take? BellRing Brands is doing well, their sales are up, and they're making more money. The Premier Protein brand is really carrying the load, with shakes driving most of the growth. They're clearly good at making and selling protein shakes. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. They're carrying a good bit of debt. Their interest payments are rising, which means they're paying more to borrow money. Building a business requires spending money, but at some point that spending has to justify the cost. That joint juice legal thing still hanging over them, and those other legal challenges are not good for business. It takes time and resources to deal with, but they seem to be managing it okay. Overall, I'd say BellRing is a solid player in the protein market. They've got a strong brand, but they need to be careful with their spending and make sure they can keep up with changing consumer tastes. They need to continue innovating to keep up with consumer demand and deal with their legal issues as they go. Alright, that's our breakdown of BellRing's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.